You wake up and the bed feels heavier than the night before. You pray, but it's hollow. The words pass and nothing changes. Things you once held close disappear right in front of you. People turn on you for reasons you can't name. There's a low, steady wrongness under everything, a numbness that refuses to be named. Don't forget like, share, and subscribe our channel. And the worst part, no one believes you. Maybe not your family, maybe not your friends, maybe not even you. You tell yourself it's stress, maybe burnout, maybe just a rough patch. But what if it isn't? What if the reason you're stuck in this fog, miserable, confused, restless, is that someone did something? And what if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already gave you everything you need to fight it, but you were never taught how to use it? This isn't paranoia. This is a wake-up call. And if you ignore it, Sihr doesn't merely touch your life, it rearranges it. If you're done asking why your life feels under siege, sit with me for a while. These 5 truths might explain why Sihr hasn't broken you completely, and how to begin taking your life back. Truth 1. Sihr needs a crack to creep through. You keep waking up exhausted, more drained than you were when you slept. You make out, but your heart is elsewhere. Your body is present, but something inside is static, like an interference between your soul and your reality. At first you tell yourself it's sleep, stress, or overwork. You try quick fixes, incense, Ruqyah audio, avoiding certain shows, but the heaviness stays. Here's the blunt fact nobody likes to say. Sihr doesn't work like a movie. It can't overwrite God's will. It only acts where there's an opening. The Qur'an explains that harm happens only by Allah's permission, which means even the darkest plot can't reach you unless you gave it a way in. That's tough to accept because it forces us to look at our own lives honestly. What are those openings? Sometimes it's a sin you kept thinking you could manage. Sometimes it's a grudge you nursed until it hardened into poison. Sometimes it's an obsession, a relationship you chased past limits. Sometimes it's years of spiritual neglect, the routine untended, the heart unguarded. You don't have to be evil or wicked to be vulnerable. You just have to be unprotected. This truth matters because the moment we minimize the small cracks in our routine, the missed prayers, the jokes we make about our luck, the compromises we gloss over, we make it easier for someone else's envy or malice to slip through. Before we rush to water, Ruqyah, or Surah Al-Baqarah playlists, look at the life you've been living. Sihr may have been cast with words, but it landed because the soul left the door open. Truth 2. Your home can be a harbor for what you fear. It's not always just what's inside you. Sometimes it's the place you live. You come home, and the air feels different, heavier, quieter, colder in one room where the light never quite reaches. There's a lingering smell, a corner that stays dusty, a closet nobody opens. You blame your imagination. But how much have you considered what your house is inviting? Your home has spiritual conditions. Simple things can block the angels and invite what you don't want. Images hung without thought, screens playing haram videos in the background, objects brought from someone else's house without checking their meaning. Small, lazy choices build an atmosphere. A playlist on loop, a mirror facing the bed, a shelf of old gifts. These seem harmless until you realize they affect the spiritual temperature of the place where your dua rises and your children sleep. The Prophet warned that angels avoid certain homes. If the protectors don't enter, something else will fill the space. Jinn don't need elaborate rituals to move in. Often they wait for neglect. Dust that never gets cleared. Shows you keep rewatching that chill your heart. A phone left on a nightstand playing music through the night. You can't Ruqyah nightly, and then binge content that tears your heart's peace. Spiritual negligence is the soil Sihr grows in. So ask, what are you letting into the place your soul calls refuge? Cleaning a room physically helps, but the spiritual clean is deeper. Remove what blocks your worship. Stop the things that numb your heart, and make your home a place where the current is welcomed by human voices, not only by speakers. Truth 3. Sihr hates the one who prays far on time. The morning prayer is more than ritual, it's a front line. If your alarm rings and you snooze every day, if you wake heavy and defeated before the sun rises, you might not be cursed so much as exposed. Sihr doesn't need to conquer you outright. It needs you to stop protecting yourself. The Prophet said the one who prays far is under Allah's protection, not under amulets or playlist promises, under Allah's shield. Miss that appointment repeatedly, and you begin to live in a spiritual gap. It's not always laziness. Often it's a drain, a slow feeding on your willpower that leaves you numb and fogged. Shane knows that Fajr changes the rules. One sincere Fajr can reverse the pattern Sihr relies on. Sihr works by erosion. Miss one prayer, then another, then a routine collapses. Protection isn't just about dramatic Ruqyah sessions, it's daily commitment. When was the last time you set an alarm purely to meet Allah before the market and the noise? Start there. Wake up before the enemy does. Reclaim the dawn. That small discipline is a fortress. Truth 4. Witchcraft cannot override the Qur'an, but you can. This is the most empowering truth. The Qur'an itself uproots Sihr. Surah Al-Baqarah was revealed as a shield. Prophet Muhammad taught that houses where Al-Baqarah is recited are safe from Shane. But the Qur'an works only when it's truly engaged with. When you open the mushaf and let your lips and your heart meet what's written. Many of you are exhausted by Ruqyah videos that promise miracles and then don't deliver. You play Qur'an audio at night and sleep through it. You want a shortcut. But the Qur'an is not a magic charm to be background. It's a living book that requires presence. Don't expect it to defend what you refuse to cleanse. Surah Al-Baqarah read in a home where people live by its guidance changes the atmosphere. Blasted through speakers while the heart scrolls on social media is white noise. Start small. Read one verse with attention. Understand it. Feel it. Let it speak to your doubts. Consistency matters more than volume. The enemy fears the steady, quiet reciter more than the loud display. The Qur'an dismantles Sihr, but only when you use it as a mirror to check your life and correct what's weak. Truth 5. Sometimes you're the one speaking the curse. Not every spell was cast by someone else. Sometimes the curse is the story you tell yourself every day. Pause and listen to your own words. How often do you mutter, "Nothing good ever happens to me," or "I think I'm cursed," in bleak resignation? Those aren't harmless complaints. They shape your reality. The Prophet warned against cursing yourself, your children, and your possessions. Your tongue can open gates. Despair repeated enough becomes belief. Shane doesn't need to force you into disbelief. He only needs your words to echo despair until you stop trying. Hopelessness is a snare disguised as honesty. This is not to say vulnerability is wrong. It's human to be honest about pain. But when that honesty turns into a script, a repeated declaration that you are doomed, you have to stop. Switch the narrative. Use your tongue for dua. Ya Allah, I don't understand this, but I trust you. Simple words said with sincerity begin to shut doors that were left open. Practical steps to begin reclaiming your life. Quick, usable actions. Audit your daily small sins and excuses. Notice the tiny choices you justified. Stop them one by one. Cleanse your home. Remove images and items that block peace. Stop playlists that play haram content. Tidy the dusty corners. Make space for the Qur'an. Commit to one consistent act. Far on time. A nightly 2-verse habit, or 5 minutes of sincere dua each morning. Consistency beats grand, inconsistent efforts. Recite with meaning. Read Surah Al-Baqarah, or even one verse, with heart, not headphones. The Qur'an is a living protection when you listen and act. Monitor your speech. Replace "I'm cursed" with "Ya Allah, guide me." Speak hope before speaking despair. Remember, even the Prophet experienced Sihr. This isn't about fault or blame. Sometimes it's a test. Sometimes it's a mercy that wakes you up to what was broken. Allah's provision is always bigger than any curse. If you are breathing, you still have access to divine protection. Not a trending healer, not a viral playlist, but Allah's mercy. Tonight, before you scroll and before you sleep, whisper something short and truthful. Ya Allah, if there is something here I do not understand, protect me anyway. If I have left a door open, guide me to close it. If I invited harm by my actions, don't let me suffer alone. That dua is not just words. It's the beginning of the veil closing. When your heart starts to turn back, small things lose their power. The heavy atmosphere gets lighter. The rooms breathe again. If this cracked something open in you, leave that dua for yourself in the comments or for someone who needs it. Sometimes your single whispered plea becomes another person's protection. This channel is not about hype, it's about healing. If you're serious about real, steady strength from the inside out, like, share, and subscribe. The fight isn't over, but now you're not walking into it blind. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.